Yeah, and I just got a fresh barometric pressure variation that happened as you were talking about Ron. That's going to be the temperature reader by the chute to see if the temperature changes or if there's any movement. So, this one, John's bed.
Okay.
So if we have a temperature drop or anything bumps it, we'll get an alert.
Okay.
Okay. Something bumped John's bed while we were down there.
Oh, no.
34. Yeah, less than a minute ago. The barometric pressure is dropping again. Is that you dropping the pressure? Because I saw you did it only on that one that you've been pushing on. The bathroom keeps having pressure changes. John's bed temperature. John's bed is really active.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
hi, this is Waz from Two Faces Podcast, and I'm going to show you our creation, the Paranormal Sensor Station. First, you hold this button down on the bottom left to turn it on. That button there. And then all you have to do is set it somewhere, and what'll happen is it'll sense if something bumps left and right, top and bottom, or front to back. Front to back is Z, up and down is Y, and side to side is X. We also have an environmental sensor hat on the top here. That gives us a yellow line for sudden drops or increases in temperature, a blue line for humidity, and a purple line for barometric pressure. It's constantly re-zeroing, so it only alerts for a sudden change, not gradual changes in temperature or humidity or pressure. If we want to change the sensitivity of any of these detections, we can quickly press the button here on the front. It says A0 through 5. That's the threshold for it to alert. A0 means the accelerometer is off. A1 means the slightest touch will activate it. A5 means something has to jostle it a lot more in order to activate it. If we hold the button, we get T in a number, and that number is the threshold for the environmental sensor. So if it's 4 or 5, it'll need a big change in the environment to alert. And if it is only 1, then a tiny change in pressure, humidity, or temperature will alert. Here at the top we have live environmental readings and a letter E. That tells us the number of events that have occurred, whether they've been temperature events or accelerometer events from it getting bumped. The number in the far upper left where it says 2 is just the last number of its ID, which is also on the sticker. We'll show you how to change the ID in a second. Battery is in the upper right, and then the temperature and accelerometer thresholds are up at the top too. All the other numbers here are just the number of events of each type, X, Y, Z, and the 3 environmental detections. You can see P- is white right now because that's the most recent thing it detected, barometric pressure going down. And of course the live histogram shows you spikes and dips of activity in real time. Now this button on the right controls the beeper. Every time you push it, you'll see the V at the top increase, and that just changes the pitch of the beep. So you can have multiple units at different pitches and tell which one beeped. See, the higher number, the higher the pitch. And then 0 turns the beep off. Now, a quick look in the menu. If you hold this right button down, we have some basic settings. Just keep pushing this right button to switch between them. ID at the top changes the ID number. You just want all your units to have different numbers. This turns on and off Bluetooth, which is important for the app I'm going to show you in a second. Brightness, which saves battery power. Megahertz, which slows down its little brain, which changes how fast it checks for changes and saves battery power if it's lower. And then you can have it sleep or update the firmware. Push the button on the front to exit or change a setting. Now let me show you how to spread a bunch of these around the room and see their results and what they detect in real time, all from one central laptop. Now let's look at how to control these things with the app. First, go to twofacesparanormal.com. Go to Gear and the Paranormal Sensor Station, and then Bluetooth app here. Now add PSS devices, and you'll see we have 2 of them nearby. I just turn them on and they show up as long as Bluetooth is turned on. So I'll choose one and select pair. Now I'll keep adding them we see that one's paired. Now I need to pair this other one. If this shows up and asks for permission, just give it permission to use Bluetooth. Now we clicked Connect All. And you'll see both of these have connected. Now what we want to do is give them a nickname. Let's say one is the bedroom, and then one, we'll click the gear and click here. We'll call it the garage. And now you'll already see it's reported this alert, which is T-, which means the temperature dropped there. And I think I have the temperature sensitivity pretty high on that one. Now, if I bump the garage one, I bumped the x-axis of it, so we got an x negative. And then you can also double check its ID number here. E is the number of events that have happened on that. T is temperature going up or down and the number of events of that. And the current temperature in Celsius. H plus, H minus. This is number of events. We've had one H minus event, which is humidity going down. And the current humidity reading. Barometric pressure, if it's gone up or down, how many times. And the current reading. And TS for temperature sensitivity. That is the sensitivity threshold for the environmental sensor. You can see we had some temperature and pressure drops here in the bedroom one as I'm talking. That's the one that I have set very sensitive right now. And then XYZ events, and then AS for accelerometer sensitivity threshold. I have that set very high, so it's difficult to trigger. A lower number and it will be more sensitive. BR is our brightness. MH is megahertz, the speed of the processor. Missing the N0, so divided by 10, which means 240 megahertz. All you have to know is this number higher, and it samples the environment quicker, but uses more battery. SL is if sleep is turned on and how long it'll take to sleep. VO for volume is just the beeper and what frequency it's beeping at. And then finally BAT 43 tells us that one's got 43% left in the battery. So every time a device gets bumped or something changes in the environment, you'll see it pop up here. You can tell as I'm messing with them here. And most of all, instead of clicking this gear and changing any of the settings on an individual unit, you can click down here for global settings and change something on all the connected devices at once. Even if you just need help finding them, you can click over here and beep, and here they both beeped, so I can go look for where they are. And it's as simple as that. One station where you can see everything happening all over a location. And when you're done, you can click download log here and save a log file with all the events and their times. Let us know what you find and share your results. So this one's like 2 REM pods, one for yes and one for no. And this is the bar that one side is yes and one side is no if something touches either side of the bar.